Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Build Your Best Life with Deborah D. Smith. You know, obstacles come in all forms, such as murder, suicide, depression, bullying, cyberbullying, your finances, generational curses, lack of education. These are only some of the roadblocks that deter our young people. My platform is designed to assist high school age and young adult males as they follow my basic principles and build their best lives. I believe it is better to train early rather than to fix later. Well, I am super excited. As you know, I've been super excited for the past 2 weeks. My second annual educational symposium has started on Monday, and when I tell you it has been hot, it has just been fantastic. We had Anastasia Smith on Monday, Bridging the Gap, and we had Anita Jean Cummins on last night, Passing the Catch Up, providing strategies to strive and thrive in the reopening of schools. And so we are ready for tonight. Well, I'm going to introduce our next speaker, and she has the floor for the night. So y'all better get ready because she is going to bring it. So welcome. Let's get started here. Sheila Walker has been an educator for 27 years. During the last 5 years, she has served as community liaison to create a bridge between the community, parents, and students. Sheila creates opportunities for students to receive community service hours while partnering with business organizations and district leadership. She provides resources for families. Sheila is president of the National Education Association of Dallas. They have a membership of over 1,000 district employees. And so we know she is a go-getter and a great leader. She is also a ministry leader and event coordinator for her church. So we, again, are super excited to bring Miss Sheila Walker on tonight. And Sheila is going to be talking about what trip will you take turning over the obstacles in education. Hello, Sheila, and welcome to Build Your Best Life.
Good evening, everybody. I am elated to be on this panel. First, I want to say, I'm giving God all the thanks for you joining us tonight, and thank God for me being here. And thank you so much, Miss Deborah, for inviting me to be on your panel this week. Welcome to day 3 of Education Symposium. And if you listen to Deborah, she told you about the first two nights. If you had an opportunity to watch, there was a wealth of information. The first night was Bridging the Gap, and the second night was pass the catch up. So today, I want to invite you to take a trip with me. My topic tonight is, what trip will you take and turning over obstacles in education? As a couple of synopses I'm going to talk about tonight. The first word, obstacle, means a thing that blocks one's way or prevents or hinders progress. Other words that come to mind are stumbling block, and this is a circumstance that causes difficulty and hesitation. Hurdle, an obstacle or difficulty. A barrier, and we hear that a lot in schools with the language barriers that we have to deal with. And not just Spanish, but you have language barriers from kids coming from other countries. We have kids coming from Guam, from Africa, and whatever. And so we have to be able to bridge those gaps with those language barriers there. Other buzzwords that we hear are hindrance, impediment, handicap, disadvantage, restrictions, limitations, snag, and that's just to name a few things. The main thing today is educating our Black men and helping them turn over obstacles in education. Statistics says that a child, specifically Black male, that is not reading on grade level by the 3rd grade will be a high school dropout and possibly go to prison. And if you didn't know, every time a child that can't read, they are building prison beds for those young people, specifically African American and men of color. But how many of you know that we can end that, we can change that by based on our trip that we're going to take, this trip you're going to take with me tonight? I have some personal stories that I want to share with you and to prove that you are in control with the help from God. See, we can go through obstacles, but we don't have to let things that we hear hinder us. We don't have to let those buzzwords take us where we don't want to go. So I'm going to help you. I'm going to take you on a trip. So my favorite scripture is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper and not to harm, plans to give hope in the future. As I think about this scripture, I am reminded that God knows us before we were even in our mother's wombs. God chose us before we were even a thought. He put the parents together. So it doesn't matter where your parents come from. If you say, well, I wish that was my dad, if I wish that was my mom, we don't have a choice over that. We don't even choose our family members. God chooses our family members. So I bring this up when I talk about Jeremiah 29:11. It's very personal to me. One thing that I want to talk about on a personal note, I remember finding out when my daughter was pregnant as a teen mother. I was so upset because that's not what I wanted for her. I wanted, I didn't want her to be a teen mom as I was. But I was reminded that God chose that baby as well. So different things that happen with us as teen moms, and these are obstacles in our life, different obstacles in our families that cause us. Sometimes we do things because that's what our family did. And so we have these generational curses that Deborah spoke about earlier. So when I look at different things, fast forward, when my daughter got pregnant, so fast forward, I remember her looking up, trying to find out what was we gonna name this baby, since we knew that we was gonna have a baby, and so we was like, what we gonna name him? So she called me one day at work and was like, "Mom, I have a couple of names." So she gave me a couple of names, and Jeremiah was one of them. So we said, we're gonna stick with Jeremiah, and the name fits him so perfectly. I remember a time when he was about 2 years old. We were sitting in church and the pastor was preaching out of the book of Jeremiah, and he heard the pastor kept saying Jeremiah. He wanted to know why the pastor was keep calling his name. That was pretty funny, but I have to remind him of that. So early in Jeremiah's, I'm talking personal because this is personal to me when we talk about our Black men. Early in Jeremiah's education, he struggled in reading. He sometimes would cry and not understand why he couldn't read. At an early age, he just couldn't understand. He would ask me often, why is it that I can't read? He couldn't understand. So we had him tested, and he was finally diagnosed with dyslexia. That was helpful to us. But then, we had to go through a lot of things trying to get him help. So we finally got him in the right school. But back up a little bit. The school wanted us to put him in summer school for 3 weeks. And my daughter said, no, I'm not going to put him in summer school for 3 weeks and then y'all pull him up to the next grade, because he would still be behind. So we held him back that year, put him in a new school. By the time he was 6th grade, he was tutoring other kids. So those are some stumbling blocks that Jeremiah has gotten over. He is now in the 11th grade, doing quite well in school. He has a 3.0 or higher GPA in high school, and he's about to be a junior, and he's excelling in his grades. He's excelling in sports. So these are some stumbling blocks. So when I say that we have stumbling blocks, it's personal to me. And so when we talk about different things, so Jeremiah also wants to be a veterinarian. He's been interested in animals almost since he was 3 years old. So that's where we're going with that. So even though he wasn't reading at this time in the 3rd grade, we turned those obstacles over. So his trip has not been easy, and neither is he not gonna have other obstacles in his life. But with positive people in his life, that would help him to be able to overturn those obstacles. And that's what I talk about when I talk to our young men in school. I work in high school. So when I talk to our young men and our young ladies, talking to them about what do you want to do? What is your next? And so some of them have obstacles. And so I'm thinking about taking you on this trip again. So imagine taking your young Black male on a trip through educations. What obstacles are they facing? Number one, they're Black. Number two, they're male. Number three, they may live in poverty. Number four, they could be from a single family home. It doesn't matter if it's a man, father, or mother. I had them in males being raised by single parent mothers, males being raised by single parent fathers. So it's a lot of obstacles that they're going through. They may not be reading on grade level. Their parents may not have graduated high school. Those are some obstacles. So, and then another thing that really hits home with some of our kids, when someone as an educator, a teacher, be it a counselor, administrator, tells a child, you will not amount to anything. That is so hurtful. That's very hurtful to me. I watched it in high school with some kids. Oh, he's not going to be anything. He's going to be like, he's just going to stand on the corner. That is it. Remember, words matter. We're pouring words into kids that we can't, we don't need to do that. So I always try to find the positive out of the kids when I know that they may not do what they intend to do, or they feel like they can't amount to anything because of the area that they live in, because of their background. Some of them go home to no water. Some of them go home to no food. Some of them living by themselves. I've had several students that were homeless, and I didn't find out until later. And then once we understood it, then we get them in the right programs. We get the dropout homeless shelter to come and help students. So I always try to find out what's best for our kids. So when I say taking a trip, I was often reminded, or I just heard this sermon a few weeks ago with our pastor talking about the trips you take and the destinations. We are always focused on the destination. We're not focused on what might happen on the way to the destination. So when we get in the car, we're getting ready to go, even with our kids, we get ready to go to school in the morning. So all we can focus on is I'm on my way to school, and parents is trying to get us to school. We don't think about, what if we have a flat? What are we going to do? What if we get pulled over by the police? What are we going to do? What if we have a wreck? So there's things that we're antsy about getting to our destination. When we go on trips, we're antsy about getting to our destination as adults. When we're getting ready to fly to Vegas, I'm going to say, or something like that. We're getting ready to fly to Vegas. All we can think about is what we're going to do when we get to Vegas. Never thinking about if I get to the airport and my plane my flight is canceled, what am I going to do? So we always need to worry. We need to think about these obstacles that our children are going through going to high school. I talk to young men about, when you graduate, if you don't want to go to college, choose a trade, go to the military, get a job, but sitting home is not an option. So we need to make sure that we give our kids those options that, so that they can be successful after graduation. Not everybody is going to college. Everybody can go to college, but not everybody is going to college. So we need to make sure that we don't set our kids up for failure and tell them that they're going to college. If they struggle through school, and we can get them in a trade to help them be successful, productive young people, then I think that's a good lane. So when we're taking our trips, make sure that we giving them positive feedback, positive reinforcement while we're taking our trips. So, and even not just young Black men, but Black women. As a Black woman, we go through so much just because we're female, just because we're Black women. We know that everything is possible. We now have a Black vice president as a woman. So we know that everything is possible. So we cannot let our children down. And then the speaker last night spoke a lot about COVID. It's very scary. We have to make sure that we have things in place for our students when it comes to making sure that we're safe. people of color are not paying attention to what's going on. And so we are looking at everything hindsight. They may be trying to put something in us or whatever. So if we're feeding that to our kids, they are thinking the same way. Getting ready to go back to work is a scary situation for a lot of adults. For a lot of us, we don't know exactly what we're dealing with when most of our kids were virtual last year. So starting next week or the week after in school in Dallas, a lot of us will be starting back. So we have most of our kids that will be in school. They don't know what to expect. So we have to make sure that we tear those barriers down and be there to help them be successful. I look around at what is going on in America with our young Black male. Some companies don't hire enough Black male. We graduate from college and we still don't have a job. Those are obstacles. So it's different things like that. So I'm reminded of, I have an older grandson that's in college. He told me the other week, I don't think I'm going back because I don't know what I want to do. And so I told him, I said, well, if you don't want to go back to the university, you come back home and you go to the community college so you can be successful. And he said, you know what? I didn't even think about that. So there are options that we can continue to help build these bridges that we talk about, build these gaps. When I work in the community with the students and helping them to get community service hours, I remind them that those community service hours can help you as you graduate. When someone looks at giving a scholarship, they look at how much community service hours you make. They don't just look at this is the A student. They want you to be well-rounded when they're giving these scholarships. So these are some things that you can help your students, children with. Look up the scholarships, help them write their essays, because a lot of our kids, as Black male and female, are afraid because I don't want to write an essay. Just write an essay, and then you can tweak the essay to the different scholarships. Had I known then what I know now, I would have been able to help my personal kids more. But I can help my grandkids and other kids that I work with in church, kids that I work with in school. We had a young man last year. These are obstacles that our kids are going through. Their mother passed a few days before graduation. They didn't know. We had two of them. One graduated this year and last year. The kid didn't know what he was going to do. But now one young man is on his way to college. The other young man is starting college. So we as the community, we as the educators, we have to continue to make sure that we're there for these students. We cannot allow society to take our kids. We cannot allow what statistics say and all of our kids are in prison. We cannot allow our young men and our young ladies to just stand on the street and not be successful. They have way more things than we had when we were growing up. We didn't have all the technology and everything. These kids have so much. And then I dare someone to say to a child, you're going to just go to McDonald's and flip burgers. It doesn't matter. A lot of McDonald's are privately owned by Black men. So what if they go to McDonald's and flip burgers? They'll learn how to flip burgers, and next thing you know, you'll walk in and they're owning the McDonald's. So there's many things that our students can do. So we have to make sure that we are, and I keep saying it, that we are there for them, that we are there with them, that we'll help walk the parents through whatever they need. Because a lot of times, I spoke earlier about parents not being educated. Some parents are afraid to ask questions because they have had obstacles in their life. They have taken trips in their life that didn't lead to to the destination that they chose to go to. But now, since we have the parents and we are able to help them, we need to help them as educators. We need to help them. I talk a lot. Told somebody, when we talk about education, education didn't choose me. I chose education. I could have very well done any other thing, but I chose education. I remember oftentimes when my daughters would ask when they were growing up in high school and they say stuff like, "Mom, why you want to go and make more money?" And I told them, if you want my money or my time is what I gave them, and it paid off. My time is what I give to my grandkids. It pays off. My time is what I give to kids in my school. It pays off. My time is what I when I give to anybody, not just students, but adults. If there's anything that I can do for an adult to help them, if there's anything that I can do for adults to help educate them on some things that we need to know, like um, just say, for instance, we're talking about COVID, about educating them on why, they should get the vaccination. But like I say, it's to each his own. I don't push it. And, I encourage you if that's what you choose to do, but do your research and stop listening to what, the media is saying about it. Do your research. And if you're not going to do your research on taking a vaccine, then do your research on taking vitamins. We as African Americans don't take care of our bodies like we should. You know, we can go on and on about that, but for the most part, these trips that we take, make those trips meaningful, make those trips prosperous. We have so much to offer in this world there is so much, there is so much that we can do and we can give to society. We cannot be stifled by what someone puts in our head. So we need to start listening to our own self, getting some advice from people. And I hear, you hear ministers say, and you hear your parents say, connect yourself with someone that's better than you. If you are the smartest person in your group, then you need to get you some new friends. Because I'm not saying nothing is wrong with your friends, but if you're the smartest person in your group, get you some more friends to help elevate you, because there's always, you might be in the middle. There's somebody you can help pull up, and then there's somebody that can help pull you up. But always associate yourself with positive people. If you have negative people in your circle, you need to help them be positive. But if they want to continue to try to pull you down with that crab mentality, then like my pastor used to say, give them a permanent wave. Buy them a McDonald's gift card or a sympathy card and give them a permanent wave, because they don't want to help you. We want to make sure that we are helpful. She was talking about, I'm the president of my local organization. We are busy all the time trying to recruit members, trying to encourage members to be a part of something, because a lot of people is like, why would I be a part of a union? Well, you drive your car and you have insurance. You don't want to be caught without having some type of coverage. Even at church, I work in ministries at church, inviting members in, doing different things in that, organizing or event coordinator at special events for our young people, for our community. So everything that I do is try to build around the community and try to make sure young people are just prospering. My kids can tell you, if I walk in the store and I see kids, I'm always going to engage with those kids. I don't care how old they are, asking them about, what do you want to do? What do you see yourself doing in the future? As they graduate, I ask them, what do you see yourself doing after graduation? Or what do you see yourself doing when you go to high school? I have young nieces, and one posed a question yesterday. She's going to 8th grade. And I said, where you want to go to high school? You always have to kind of open those minds. Even my younger grandson that's 8 years old, I talked to him about, what do you want to do? What do you want to see in life? So then you start focusing them around and taking them on trips to museums, taking them on trips to see different things, taking them on trips to the airport. They may want to fly a plane. So you have to take them on these different trips, and trips don't have to cost money. There's free trips. There's trips just right around the corner from you. Taking your kids and your grandkids and showing them what it is in life that they can be a part of. So I can't say enough about these trips that we take through life, that we always looking for a final destination. Pay attention to what takes you on that journey. Pay attention to those journeys that you take, and remind our young people that you may fall, but you can get back up. You may have some stumbling blocks, but we're going to find some positiveness out of this. We're going to help you be successful. And this is what I look forward to going back to school, is helping these young people be successful in what they do. I look forward to helping some young people to go back to college. I didn't finish my college degree till I was in my 50s, but helping somebody, encouraging somebody to do better. And every time you be better than you was yesterday. Be better than you were yesterday. Every day when you get up, try to do better. When you leave a person, when you talk to somebody, leave them better than where they were. When you're having conversations with people, and when you're trying to speak life into people. So as we speak life into our young people, I just can't say it enough, of what we have to do. So Miss Deborah, thank you so much for allowing me to speak today, to jump in the middle of the week on Hump Day. Hopefully I've been able to help somebody. Hopefully the trip that you went on with me would help you throughout this school year and many years to come. Thank you. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I'm sorry, always on mute. Yes, your trip took us all on over Hump Day. So we appreciate that so much. It was some great information. I appreciate the engagement from our listeners. But I love that trip that you took us on. And yes, I agree that everyone should take those trips with a destination in mind. And no matter where you find yourself in life today, always strive to be better. Always. Awesome. But that was just great information that you provided. So do you have any tips or anything else that you want to say?
Well, tips that I can give you is I always look for the positive in a person. There's negative in people, but there's some positive in everybody. And anybody that knows me, that's what I do. Try to find, even though they'll say, Sheila, you know what, you don't ever, try it can be whatever, and you're gonna always try to, but that's just who I am. I didn't design myself, God did. And so those things, even with our children and our grandchildren, when you see that they're going the wrong direction, try to just encourage them to go the right direction. And that's just what I do. And my grandkids will tell you, and my kids too, they'll tell you too. Like if they're doing something, I try to encourage them, or they want to tell, how they vent, Mama so-and-so, and I try to turn it the other way. It was like, oh Lord, there you go. But that's just who I am, and I can't help it. So just always, and just whenever you go somewhere, leave better than you came. When you're in church, you hear the pastor say, you should leave here the way before better than you got here this morning. So we need to practice that. And I need to practice it too, because not all the time am I feeling positive for myself. A lot of times I beat my own self up. And so those are things that I have to be mindful of, because whatever I'm telling somebody, I need to be working on myself too. So those are some tips and tools. And as we go back to school, just make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. If you're feeling sick, stay at home. Don't bring it to school, but definitely take care of your body. Pour those vitamins in your body. If you don't want to take the shot, I can't make you, but take care of yourself and mask up. Just because somebody said we don't have to, mask up anyway. So those are some things that I think are going to keep us safe. And, we just have to continue to pray to God that this thing goes away. And, he's all we need. That's our source.
Yes, I agree. And thank you. Carol says, make your presence known and leave others better.
Right.
And I was going to say, and just please continue to be who you are, who God made you to be, because I just loved it when you said, wherever you are, you walk up to the kids and you ask them questions. I mean, they may not get that at home. So, it's great that that's something that you do. That lets them know that there is somebody who cares, what they're doing in life.
Right.
So,
right.
Just keep doing that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, and again, I'm gonna put up my announcements about the rest of this week, but I want to go ahead and push everyone to let somebody know that's in the local Jacksonville, Florida area about these free haircuts. I haven't seen any names this week, and I am so excited. It is Hooked on Books and Looks. And I know a lot of my young men have the dreads and the other hairdos, but I'm sure you have to get them trimmed up. So this is a reputable barber. The barber, he is reputable and licensed. So please make sure you put your name or your child's name in the thread or message me on DM so that you can get those haircuts. So, and the haircuts will be this Saturday. So I just wanted to say that. But please be patient with me here as I share the announcements for the rest of the week. So again, this is our second annual educational symposium, Hooked on Books and Looks. And I've told you where the looks come from, and the books is because I know that reading is fundamental. We can learn so much. So on Monday night, we had Anastasia Smith, and she has already bridged the gap for us. And on last night, we had Anita Jean Cummins, and she brought the catch up. She told us how to catch up with those strategies. And then tonight, what a trip we had. What a trip. And Miss Sheila Walker turned over those obstacles. So we just thank her for that. That was awesome. We have 2 more speakers this week. On tomorrow, which is Thursday, August 5th, we have Nikina Bryant from Mesquite, Texas. And she's going to be talking about creative teaching approaches. And when I say excited, she is excited. And then on Friday, August 6th, Linda Wright-Patrick from Freeport, Bahamas is going to close us out with the next chapter, Love and Happiness. So please tune in at 6:30 p.m. Thursday and Friday for those 2 speakers. And remember, please like and share. We are giving away complimentary haircuts all this week, and the haircuts will be on Friday. And the barber is Ruck the Barber, Dante Rucker. And also, I wanted to donate some books. I have a book, Build Your Best Life. And I've donated books to Revolt Middle School and Jean Revolt Senior High School here in Jacksonville, Florida, because we know reading will take us higher. So thank y'all again for that, for tuning in and taking part of those announcements. So I look forward to seeing you all again on tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I thank you for engaging with us as Sheila was giving us those tips. They were fantastic. So I thank you for the engagement. And I see we have a name. Thank you so much for the haircuts. Thank you so much. And so again, thank you. And again, Sheila, thank you so much. And keep doing what you're doing. You are a fantastic educator, and I applaud all educators because
Thank
we
you.
just don't realize if we didn't have educators, where would we be? Who would educate our children to continue on for generations to come? So y'all do a fantastic job. So I salute all educators.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. And as always, as you go on your way, on your journey to being a better you, you will run into distractions, pitfalls, rough terrain, and detours. Don't let any of these negative aspects of your journey stop you. Though they may slow you down, keep going to be a better you so that you can build your best life. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. Thank you. Be blessed, be safe, and I will see you on tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.